this Ditra made by Schluter. It's an uncoupling membrane, and what this does is you cement this with this felt part onto the plywood with a polymer modified thinset. I'm going to be using, in this case, 253 Latticrete Gold, and the trowel I'm going to be using is this one here. It's 11/64 by 11/64 square notch trowel, and this is actually a Schluter Ditra trowel. This is what Schluter recommends to install membrane. And when you install a tile on this membrane, you use an unmodified thinset. And the reason you do that is because the tile, when it's installed on this, the thinset doesn't actually adhere to this plastic. It gets locked in to these waffles here, which have like a dovetail. See if you can see it somewhere here. Can't really see it, but it's like a dovetail. In here. So what happens is when the thinset cures, it gets locked into these waffles. And because there's these ridges behind here, what that does is it uncouples the floor from the tile floor from the subfloor. So if there's any movement in the plywood or whatever, lateral movement, it will not transfer through the Ditra to the tile because of these voids. The Ditra can deform and not transfer the movement to the tile. That's how that works. And it's a very good system, and I've used it for years and years and years, and I've never had a problem with it. Just want to make sure when you put this down that you use a good quality polymer modified thinset to adhere the Ditra to the subfloor. These come in 50-foot rolls, they come in 150-foot rolls, and they come in 340 or 330-foot rolls. So that's what I'm going to do now. The way I do it, I just cut everything in first, roll it out, and then cut everything in, and then I just cement it down afterwards when it's all cut in. Just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, so I got the Ditra all cut in, and I'm going to cement it down. To install the Ditra, you need a Ditra trowel, and that's 11/64 by 11/64 square notch. A wooden float. This is just an old wooden float, or even piece of 2x4 to smooth it in. Bucket of water, and your thinset. And the thinset you're going to use on here, because this is plywood, is going to be a polymer modified thinset. So you could use Ultraflex 2, good quality polymer modified thinset. What you don't want to use is a low quality polymer modified modified thinset. If you are paying $6, $7, even $8, $9, or $10 a bag, it is not a good quality thinset. And then if this were on concrete, you could use an unmodified thinset. But because it's on plywood, we're going to be using a polymer modified thinset. Okay, so this is how I mix thinset. I just eyeball it because I've been doing this a long time, so I know more or less how much water I have to put in here. Thinset. Add the water first, and put the thinset in. This is a polymer modified thinset that I'm going to be putting the Ditra down with. And mix it up. I like to make this a little looser when I'm doing Ditra so that it grabs the fleece on the back of the Ditra. So now you're going to let it sit like 10 minutes before we use it. So I mix my thinset. You want to mix it a little soupier, a little looser than it would be for installing tile. Just, but you still want to be able to hold a notch on the, the notches of the trowel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll some of this back. I'm going to clean the floor with a damp sponge, and that serves two purposes. It cleans dust off the substrate, and because it's plywood, it'll stop the plywood from prematurely absorbing the moisture out of the thinset. So it actually serves two functions. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Don't stand in water, just wiping it down. Just to dampen it, just a little bit. Okay, so that's just to clean it and dampen the plywood. There was no standing water. Next, I'm going to use the flat side of the trowel to key the thinset in. Flat side of the trowel. Once you have it keyed in with the flat side of the trowel, you're going to flip the trowel over and then spread your thinset with the notch side of the trowel. So you get all the ridges of the thinset, so that when you roll the thinset and the Ditra back, it'll lay into the thinset and get bonded to the floor. Okay, I'm going to roll it in. So once you've got it rolled back into the thinset and laying down, I usually use a wooden trowel to smooth it right into the thinset and make the Ditra lay into it and really get well bonded to the subfloor. You can use a steel trowel if you want, but I find that a wooden trowel or even a block of 2x4 works pretty good. So see that it's looser than normal, but it still holds the notch in the trowel. And then when you pick it up, when you pick this up, you want to see good coverage. See how that's good coverage like that? You want to see that on the back of the Ditra. So now I'm going to do the rest. Okay, so The Ditra's all down. Next step is tile.